Yeah. And then I will show you some action plan from the years, and what we have to do this year. The four point is the main point for today. What is the homework and the skills for patient and family we have to address. So, as you know, the main objective of our working group is to identify and develop and support standardized continuing education and training programs in pediatric transplantation. And it's focused not only in healthcare professionals, but also in non-healthcare professionals at different levels. All of them who are involved in pediatric transplantation care at different stages of the transplantation process, at the beginning, at the pre-transplantation phase, in the transplantation, or in the post-transplantation phase. So the scope of our working group is focused not only in solid organ transplantation, also in hematopoietic stem cell transplantation, because transplantation is the only curative procedure for different diseases that they need a transplantation, and we are taking all this consideration in a multidisciplinary team with a cutting cross and holistic approach regarding the organ we transplant, because this is the add value of our network. This is how to achieve these objectives, we have developed these different 6 strategic lines with different working groups. And our working group is this one in yellow, is the education and training working group. We have a multi-annual and annual working plan and action plan every year for the strategy we focus. So the governance of the working group is mediated by a technical director, who is Dr. Maria Pancelina, who is a surgeon of liver surgeons in Coimbra. He's also a professor of surgery at the pediatric hospital in Coimbra. And myself, I'm Antonio Perez. I am the head of pediatric hemato-oncology and stem cell transplantation in Hospital La Paz in Madrid. As member of the executive operative coordinator of the network, I'm just the coordinator of this working group. But these are the governance, and the most important thing is try to identify people who involve as members in the different working groups. And now I am trying to explain you which other professionals have joined to this working group. As you can see in this slide, one of the main objectives is to try to identify the gap, the needs in education and training in different healthcare providers. So we develop a gap analysis at the beginning, like a survey. We have to elaborate, because with the results of the gap analysis, we perform a training plan. A training plan for next year who have activities, and these activities we try to make accreditation, European accreditation, local accreditation, different level of accreditation, in order to give the activity important impact and a formal impact as a training plan strategy. And then at the third point, we have to make a feedback evaluation in order with the training plan we were able to address all the answers for the question we identify in the gap analysis. With this strategy, this is what we have done in the 2 years. Before, we use this gap analysis as a tool. We do the training plan as a strategy, trying to bridge the gap, and then we make a follow-up, try to accreditate the training activities. It is a very difficult thing, because it's not easy to accreditate the activities, but I can tell you that for this year we have the first training activity accredited by the UMs. It's going to be the next face-to-face meeting on May of this year for medical training activities. So we have to follow up this strategy not only for medical or for nurse, and now we have to do this the same analysis, the same training plan for patients and families. For example, when we perform the gap analysis for medical doctors, we identify, in order to bridge the gap, we identify different activities to try to address this question. For example, we try to do webinar masterclass, focus on clinician or early career clinician or also experienced physicians. We also identify another activity as short travel grants in order to make physicians the ability to go to other hospitals and to exchange knowledge and practice in order to is another tool to improve this or to bridge the gap of training and education. And these are the activities we are now running. It's already running for medical activities, and they are also implemented for the nurse. And for the meeting, for the board of the meeting, now we have the first face-to-face training transplantation meeting where we are going to address in a WebEx way, or we just in face-to-face meeting we're going to do this education and training plan. So, for example, all of these plan of activities, we try to make accreditation for the European Union in order to give the continuum medical specialists information. Is something is hard. It's not cheap. We need some money to do that, but fortunately, we can tell you that we have the accreditation, for example, this year for the first medical activity face-to-face meeting, as I told you before. So these are an example, as we did 3 years ago for medical activities, 2 years ago for nurse activities, and now we have to do a similar gap analysis, a training plan, and a follow-up for patient and families. For example, how could I take this out? For example, this is an example of action plan and annual plan. First of all, we have to identify the target group for the education. For the first year, it was medical doctor. Then we develop a gap analysis. Gap analysis is all the doctors were talking about which question they have less expertise, which question were more interesting for them. And then after the result of the gap analysis, we identify at least 3 hot topics in different phases of transplantation: pre-transplantation, transplantation, and post-transplantation. And then we try to design the activities, the medical activities, in order to answer the question that they are needed. We have done for medical activities. The second year we have done for nurses, and now the third year we have to identify another target. This is the reason why all of you are involved in this work in transplantation today. So this is more or less the months we have to do all of this. So now we are a little late because we should have started in October of 2018. So we are on April 2019. We are a little late, but we still have time to address these issues, because at the end of this year we have to do the education and training plan, and we have to start at the end of this year with the activities in order to get accreditation, in order to involve another stakeholder. So which homework and skills we have to do for today? Well, what I propose is, first of all, we have to design a survey, and we have at least 1 month to consider between all of us this survey. We can send you some models of we have done before for medical and for nurse. Remember that we are not focusing on organ, we are focusing the process of transplantation. It would be nice if at the end of May we can run the survey to the different patient and family organization from the different hospital, different countries that they are involved in the network. I think it's too ambitious to have the results at the end of June, because it would be nice to have the results before summer holidays in order to have some work during the summertime. Because it could be nice try to design topics, duration, channel of the activities for July. In that time, maybe in September and October we can start with the activities, and at the end of the year we can evaluate the activities. This is what I propose to you. I think it's a little ambitious. You have to tell me if it's feasible or if not. I think the main problem is not going to be the survey, because most of you have a question on your mind and you just put on a model we can send you. But the most difficult question for me is try to analyze their results, try to get a consensus, because it's, in my opinion, it's better to try to answer 2-3 questions in order to be more effective for the designer of the activity. For example, this is what we have done in 2018 education plan. You can see we have sent e-learning webinars. We run second short-term seconding from medical doctor. We run a report and another plan for 2019. No puedo pasar a for this year, we are focusing patient and families. We are already. Oh, ¿qué pasó? We are already doing some activities from medical and from doctors. They are ongoing, because this is something it's going on. It's never stop. I mean, it's not only for 1 year. You make the activities. You make the activities for the plan activities for 1 year, but at the next year, the activities from medical, for nurse are going on. So for the next year, we expect to have activities for medical, activities for nurses, and activities for patients going on. So maybe we can join some of them. We can, but also another can be independent. So, for example, this is the plan for this year. As I told you, we already have e-learning webinars from different hospitals. They are really recorded. We're going to have in May the face-to-face meeting. We are planning the third short-term secondary program for best practice in bladder cell transplantation at the beginning of the year. Yeah. This is, for example, what we have to plan at the end of the year for the next year. As you mean, for example, medical nurse and patient now they are ongoing because it's already started, and then we have to focus for 2020 in other stakeholders and researchers in pediatric transplantation, psychosocial care, other politicians, any other focus who try to involve in the. But for the webinar, we have to look for the first short term and for new webinars from all the targets we identify. So this is for examples, the hot topics we identify for NERS. As you can see, in the transplantation phase, we observe some gaps in communication skills, abilities of communications, bad news, good news, information, empathy, caring for patients. Some, for example, ostomy, tracheostomy. Some. They also have some gaps in living donors. How to take care of living donors, how to select living donors. So all of these hot topics were identified from a very wide survey in nurses, and now they are working in education plan to identify it, to try to improve the knowledge in these gaps in pre-transplantation phase. But also in the transplantation phase, they also want to have more data regarding how is the organ graft selection, which drugs or which immunosuppression is selected and why, which conditioning. So then we plan some activities in order to give more information on this. And for the transplantation phase, we identified other three topics: different administration immunosuppression, the side effects, the adherence to long-term and long-term care of the patients, of the transplantation patients. So then identifying the activities are going to try to answer all of these questions. Because we think it's quite important, it's a signal of quality to have accreditation, EUM's accreditation. All the activities we try to send to this system, to this European consortium, that it will require some money, but we require a very good quality of the proposal in order to get the ACME signal of them. So at this time we have the ACME accreditation for the medical activity, for the face-to-face medical activity. For the next year, we are going to work in the ACME accreditation for the nurse, and it would be nice if we, in addition, we can work also for accreditation or other activities. So, as you can see, this is the education plan for 2019. In black, you can see the things we are already doing. The e-learning material. We are trying to identify which activities are localized in each hospital. We are going to do a map of the activities in each hospital in order to try to tell the rest of the people on the network which activities are doing, if they want to participate, in order to make more European, more aligning the local activities. We're going to try to be more attractive. The second is Chinese, now it's the third generation. We are working in the educational plan for NEST, and this in red is the activities it's not done. And we would like to elaborate a manuscript with all the needs for the different stakeholders, because if we can put in a table all the needs in the pre-transplantation phase, transplantation phase, post-transplantation phase, identifying medical needs, nurse needs, patient and family needs, in order to try to see if they are the same, if they are different. Yeah, I think it could be a nice manuscript, because we can if we are in the same line, we are different line, it could be a very nice interaction between us, because this is the main point of the network. Remember that the main point of the network is our patients, our patient needs, and the patient needs are for the knowledge of the doctor, but also the needs of the family. So this is something we have to, it's transversal, and this is one of the main points of our. And this is why, and the last red line is the new target is the analysis for patient and families. This is my last slide. I'm sorry because a small letter size, but this is only some questions we can send you, open questions, but of course it's just to give you an example of which question, how can an example of survey, but of course you can modify, you can organize, you can do by yourself. And then with a score, when we answer, we make a score from 1 to 5, less interested, most interested. We make a sum, we make the median, and this is how we analyze the results.
Is this survey?
No, this is an example.
An example.
This is an example we can send you, an example of question. For example, you can see organ donation, CTC network awareness, self-care activities as oral hygiene, wash, bathing, skincare during hospitalization, the psychological support, economical support, activities in the hospital after hospitalization. Many questions or many things that it's quite transversal that maybe we, but of course this is not something done by it's done by the team of the net, but it's not so it have to be done by you because it
we have to identify each one with its numbers.
Yeah, that's it. So we can send you some example how we did in the past, but you can do it by yourself. Maybe you can elaborate. I think this is all what I want to tell you. Yeah, this is all. Yeah. Now it's time for you for any question or any comment. We can support with the presentation and with the gap analysis we did, but Maria, who is, you can see Maria Francelina, who is the technical director. I don't know, Maria, if you want to add something.
I don't think she's got any sound.
Now we can sound Maria. No, not now.
No.
We lost you, María. ¿Cómo se hace? Parecía que quería, ¿no?
She hasn't got any blue lines.
No.
I don't think.
No, María. No, María. No.
No. Pues no.
Ya no se puede hacer con Portugal antes.
Pues esta no es marca aquí.
Oye, esto acabo de hacer una videoconferencia con castellano.
Es imposible que salga bien, porque es que si no hay comunicación fluida, sí. Se está haciendo un trabajo brutal y algo
we can message Maria. Shall I message her and tell her that we can't hear her?
Yeah. ¿Podemos llamar a María por la WhatsApp?
I already messaged Maria, but she didn't respond. Maybe she doesn't see the chat message.
María, you can text. ¿No? ¿Esa María? Okay. Maria, I'm sorry. We cannot hear you. Alison, Nana, Cristina, any comment, or you think it's feasible?
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Interestingly, it was very interesting to see what the nurses' results were, because I think from the perspective of the families that we speak to, I think it would be quite similar in a way. Those would be the themes, and the communication would be about how to communicate with the professionals rather than the other way around. But I thought that was very interesting. I think the difficulty is going to be getting down to 3 things. And like you said, you know, that's a very long list in that last slide, but I think you could probably add to that with a few more and join a few things together. And but it will be hard getting down to 3 things. But I don't see why. We've got to start somewhere. And yeah, I think the things we get the most discussion about is in the UK for our population with liver is the fact that they didn't understand properly the ongoing care needs and implication of immunosuppression going way into the future on an ongoing basis. And they, you know, but, you know, I think it's very doable. I think it's important to define who gets the questionnaire in terms of whether it's going to patient organisations or to patients. And
maybe we can do both.
Yeah.
We can do both. Analyze patients and analyze patient organization by different.
And perhaps it might be good to limit the sample or ask the right questions so that perhaps it's just people that have had a transplant in the last 3 years, because practice changes so much and things change so much that might be useful just to keep it home to people who've had the experience, who are reflecting on it.
Yeah,
Possibly.
we can. We have in the survey. You should. There are some general questions. For example, I remember when we ask nurse and medical doctor, you ask about how long they are working in pediatric transplantation, if they are early career or they are experts, or of course we ask also in which program of transplantation they are working, if they are working in the hospital or outpatient or inpatient. So yeah, there are many open questions, but we try to identify first of all the characteristic of the population that answer, and with that characteristic being as homogeneous as we can, then we try to analyze. Always we're going to have some mistakes, some bias, but I think it's a good tool in order to address the gap and the needs, the real needs, not for one people, for one family, just from the different patients organization from at least the 18 hospitals that they are involved in our network. So yeah, but we can send you by email. We can share examples, and you can elaborate, and we can help you to do a survey in the Google by Google tools. It's quite easy. No, but the question have to be selected by you.
And another question, we are always talking about this, but it's always a problem because these education programs are going to be directed to patients, I suppose. And each country have different languages. This is the problem. So how many patients can access to these education programs if the language is in English, I suppose. So it's always a problem. Not for you, Edison, you're very lucky.
No.
But out of UK, our patients, the most of them doesn't speak English. So this is always a problem. So I think this is a problem that is not small, it's a big problem, because at the end, if we want that this education program goes to the right people, I mean the patients, they have to understand what they are talking about. So I think we have to work a little bit about this, about the different languages in different countries.
Yes,
because some other things we can arrange it. I speak English, I represent the patients, and I can manage. But these type of things, I cannot do the education programs, and they don't. You know, it's something that it is directly organized for them. So I don't know what we can do about that.
It's a good point, Conchita. Yes, just to have the quality of data, we need to ensure that the respondees can answer the survey, can answer the questions, and can understand what exactly they're asked about. So maybe we can work on translation on country level.
Yes.
To be prepared for this survey.
I can tell you a secret. For the nurse in our hospital, we make both. We make survey in English and survey in Spanish. So because most of the nurses that answer the survey, they don't speak English and they don't understand the question.
Yes, but the problem is not the survey.
We did both. We did both.
Yeah. Yes, we can do that. We can translate it, but the problem is the education. You know.
Yeah, but maybe in education it means it has to be work harder. Maybe you have to do education in English, education in Spanish,
in different languages. We have to work on the translation.
Or maybe we can use strategies to read in the language.
Yeah, we have to think about it.
Yeah, I think it's a problem, but we can.
Yes, but it's something that we can
manage.
We can manage.
Yes, and I have also practical question about information channels, how this survey will be spreaded to patients or to this target audience. Which way, I mean?
Sorry, may I intervene?
Absolutely, Anna. Hello, welcome. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Anna.
Sorry, I got here a bit late, but I do research regarding, chronic disease patients. And for this to work, in my opinion, it would be better if we all had the same survey. Instead of us picking the questions in our own country, we should make a general survey and then translate it to every language within our countries, so we can better get results. Otherwise, we can't really cross-reference results if we have different questions, and our results will be a bit spread out, and it won't be very easy to analyze the data and get to a conclusion regarding Europe. It would be good to generalize a bit to get conclusions regarding how it works in Europe across every patient in Europe and not just in each country, I think.
Yes, but as I understood, the English version will be the same for all countries. We just do this local translation.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I just understood that we should pick our own questions.
One survey.
The same one.
And if you need to translate it, you can do it. This is what I.
Okay. Perfect. Sorry.
And the channel to spread the survey, I think, should be the family association. I mean, the main association. For example, for the doctors, we contact directly with the doctor. From the nurse, we contact with the supervisor of the nurse, and the supervisor was who select all the nurses.
Yeah.
From patient and family, I think the channel should be the association.
Yeah.
Try to involve the different association, focus in the different transplantation, not only liver, not only bone marrow. Try to because and then we can analyze if they are similar or they are different. Because remember, we imagine that the needs are real common, the same from all of us. So, but it's more representative with more different pediatric transplantation program. It could be more quality of the data.
Okay. Yeah, I think it works.
Is there any way we could? Do the hospitals have Facebooks or do the hospitals have any means of dissemination in the hospital?
I don't understand.
Does your hospital have a Facebook account?
Facebook account, no. We can use but we can use Transplant Child website.
Yeah, it's just sometimes many of the families that are in touch with the patient organisations, many of us do some of this work, so they might be really well supported, whereas people who aren't in touch with the patient organisation might not be. But it's just finding another vehicle that's not the patient organisation. In the UK, that might be through the hospitals have Facebook accounts and things, so you can. But
most of in Spain, I think the hospital is not allowed to have Facebook.
Okay. It's probably a good idea.
Portugal.
Some Twitter, but not Facebook.
Okay.
But we can use the web. We used to put all the activity we used to put in the website of Transplant Child. In fact, I think the results of the nurses are as a file. Yeah, not in a file. It should be in a file. It's going to be in a file because all the documents we have we in the website of the network. I think it should be someone in a private place because you have to connect and go inside. But you have access to that. But at the beginning, I think that the most important thing is to make a group. We can send you some examples, and then in 2 or 3 weeks elaborate a survey. Try to identify all the phases of transplantation and make questions, and then go back again, try to make consensus if the question address or everything, and if the answer could be address all the needs, and then if everyone is okay, then spread it, give some time, and then another meeting to analyze the data, and then with that data, try to design the activities to identify the way to the speakers or the teaching, or what is the best way to do that. So I think it's a very nice way of working, because we are working all together. We are working patient, we're working doctor. So I think it's an example of how things should work. So if there is no more question, maybe the next step is we are going to use the same email to all of you to send you the presentation from today, and to send you some examples of the medical and nurse activities, and then just by you connect, speak. For example, in 1 month, it would be nice if we can have a draft, the first draft of the survey. Is it possible? Is it feasible?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes, I believe it is feasible. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Pues thank you all of you for your participation in the meeting, the WebEx. I am here just for help, because I really believe in this project. I know it's a very, very heavy project, because we all of us, we are very busy in our clinical activity, but I think it deserves to do this kind of meeting to improve the care of our patients. So thank you all of you for your participation. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
¿Cómo se sale de aquí?